As we move forward, I am directing all government agencies to actively institutionalize and sustain the whole of government approach in addressing our country's COVID-19 situation. I also assure the Filipino people that your government will continue working to ensure the immediate distribution of the available vaccines to our communities. I don't know how to express my gratitude to the donor countries. That you remember the poor nations is in fact already a plus for humanity. And in behalf of the Republic of the Philippines and of the people and all, I'd like to say again that we felt the gratitude in our hearts, and may God bless you for your benevolence.
The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Davao City has started its vaccination program against COVID-19 today. And to give us the latest situation on the ground, we have Jem Avancenia joining us live from Davao. Jem, good afternoon. Could you tell us how the vaccination drive is ongoing?
Charles, the first vaccination here in Mindanao finally kicked off this morning, and it was held here at the Southern Philippines Medical Center with the first 150 employees of the hospital. Dr. Ricardo Odan, the head of SPMC, volunteered to be vaccinated first despite his age and comorbidities. And after 30 minutes under the post-vaccination monitoring area, he said he did not experience any adverse effects. He was then followed by doctors, nurses, and other frontline health workers. Dr. Marie-Yvette Bares of the Infectious Disease Department said she's now more confident in performing her job after being vaccinated. Odan said from 75%, the acceptance rate now of SPMC for SINOVAC vaccines increased to 85%. Meanwhile, Dr. Annabel Lumang of DOH 11 said vaccination rollout for other provinces in Davao region will begin next week. This goes with the private hospital's frontline health workers vaccination, which will be held at Mabini Elementary School. Charles, so far only one vaccine beneficiary experienced dizziness, but health authorities said that she did recover immediately after eating her meal. Charles?
Thanks for that, Jem. That was Jem Avancenia reporting live from Davao City. DILG Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya says allowing mayors to receive COVID-19 vaccines would do wonders for vaccine confidence. On One News's agenda, Malaya said he himself took the plunge in hopes of allaying public fears over vaccines. As the chairperson of the sub-task group on risk communications, Malaya said it would not bode well for public confidence if he did not take the vaccine himself. But Malaya said people would not believe until they see their local leaders inoculated. Recall that the National Immunization Technical Advisory Group, or NITAG, has barred mayors from taking the vaccine for now in order to give priority to healthcare workers. But Malaya said he respects NITAG's decision and would not like to start any controversy. Nonetheless, he remains firm on his position that seeing their mayors inoculated would inspire more people to sign up for vaccination.
People will not believe until they see their leaders get inoculated. That is the reality of public communications. And para sa akin, pag dumating ang bakuna sa isang lugar and then nauna si mayor, that will end the game. Tapos na ang ating public information campaign. The mayor putting himself there, showing to the public na kailangan magpabakuna is, I think, the most important step that we can take.
Speaking of vaccine confidence, the allocated vaccines for the Hospital ng Makati have come up short. This is almost 400 medical staff signed up for inoculations earlier today. Romel Lopez joins us live from Makati to give us more details. Romel, good afternoon. So, how many OSMAC employees will be vaccinated today, Romel?
Yes, a total of 300 medical frontliners of the Hospital ng Makati are expected to be inoculated today. Charles, Hospital ng Makati Director Dr. Virgel Binay was the first to receive the SINOVAC shot in the ceremonial vaccination here in Osmac this morning. 6 other department heads of the hospital then followed. According to Mayor Abby Binay, they received a total of 300 doses, but a total of 390 out of over 1,500 health workers in Osmac signed up for vaccination. The hospital officials admitted that around 387 staff members have tested positive for COVID-19 since the onslaught of the pandemic. That is why they welcomed the arrival of the vaccine with open arms. Testing czar Vince Dison, who was present during the event, assured that more vaccines will be present to the hospital, considering the initial batch of AstraZeneca doses that have already arrived. Dison adds that they are also beefing up security in Makati to prevent the spread of COVID-19 variants from neighboring city of Pasay. Charles, while Makati has yet to detect the South African variant in cases here in the city, the LGU is not taking any chances. That's why Mayor Abby Bina is constantly reminding the citizens to practice minimum health protocols to combat COVID-19.
Romel Lopez reporting live from Makati. The Food and Drug Administration has recorded a total of 125 adverse events since the start of SINOVAC inoculations in the country. FDA Director General Eric Domingo explains that this is just 1% of the over 13,000 health workers who have received the vaccine. Most of them experienced headaches and body aches after vaccination, and 3 people were reported to have allergies from SINOVAC shots. The FDA expects more people to report having adverse reactions from vaccines, especially after receiving the second dose of SINOVAC. However, health experts are reminding the public that these adverse effects are still considered normal. We'll be back with more stories after a quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The De Los Santos Medical Center inoculated volunteers from various departments in a bid to achieve herd immunity in the hospital. To give us the latest on the ground, we have Laila Pangilinan. She's reporting live from Quezon City. Laila, good afternoon. Could you tell us how many workers at the De Los Santos Medical Center have received their shots today?
Charles, around 300 medical workers from the De Los Santos Medical Center received their first dose of COVID-19 vaccines from SINOVAC today. These volunteers signed up beforehand but were allowed to back out at any given time, and all reasons would have been deemed valid. And these volunteers from different departments have been volunteering to ensure herd immunity against or as part of the government's call. And though all of them are willing to receive the COVID-19 jab, there are some volunteers that were turned down by the vaccination team. These volunteers were found unfit for vaccination due to pre-existing conditions. The inoculation here at the De Los Santos Medical Center will conclude at 3 in the afternoon. There are 8 steps to go through, starting with the health registration. The 8th step is taking snaps at the photo booth behind me, and this is not just for social media purposes or for humble bragging, but also a way to get people to be vaccinated. But wait, Charles, there is actually a step 8.5, and that is the free taho that the volunteers will be getting after their V-Day. We've interviewed several volunteers, and all of them were very positive in welcoming the first dose of the vaccine. The Vice President for Medical Affairs and Chief Medical Officer of the De Los Santos Medical Center also notes that the whole hospital, especially the volunteers, will be benefiting from this inoculation. Charles, we've also received word that another 300 doses of the COVID-19 vaccines from SINOVAC and from DOH will be arriving today. So that means that another round of inoculation will be happening next week. And just to give you a clear picture of what's happening, these people behind me are queuing for the registration as they are the next batch to be vaccinated around 45 minutes. It takes around 45 minutes for you to complete the vaccination process, and around 15 volunteers per hour is needed for different batches. And that's the latest here. Charles, back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Laila. We could all use some taho at the end of the week. Thanks for that, Laila Pangilinan, reporting live from the De Los Santos Medical Center at Quezon City. In other news, the Education Department noted that students are facing multiple challenges as they continue to undergo distance learning amid the pandemic. Citing a survey, DepEd Undersecretary Nepomuceno Malaluan said 30% of students, both from public and private schools, admit that they don't have a stable internet connection. 27% of the learners say they have no available gadgets for distance learning, while 19% say they do not have sufficient load balance. Given these issues, Malaluan told Cito Beltran on One News's agenda that the agency has no timeline yet for the next school year. He added that President Duterte has the final say on the matter.
The president actually the authority to set the school opening if it will be beyond August 30, if I recall correctly, with recommendation. So there will still be a lot of policy deliberation on the school opening in light of discontinuing adjustments that are still ongoing.
One presidential advisor who wants to allow more people to go to the malls isn't in favor of the resumption of face-to-face classes. On One News is the chief's presidential advisor on entrepreneurship, Joey Concepcion, said he's in favor of allowing senior citizens and children aged 15 and below to go to the malls. This is to boost consumer spending and revive economic activity. But Concepcion isn't too keen on allowing face-to-face classes just yet, because according to him, students and teachers already adapted to the distance learning setup. The presidential advisor has also said that physical classes may only return if around 70 or 80% of the population have been vaccinated. But for now, Concepcion says it would be dangerous to ease up on both restrictions at the same time.
I think what we have to do is to bring back consumer spending, and that relates to the whole economic activity. Online learning, people have adapted to that, not only here, rest of the world. And we moving next year, it's just one more year. Now, if they want to do both, then there will be more risk.
The Muntinlupa Regional Trial Court has affirmed its earlier ruling denying Senator Laila de Lima and Jose Dera's demurrer to evidence, as well as de Lima's petition for bail. This means the trial will proceed with Ronnie Dayan set to present his first witness today. All this in relation to de Lima's second drug rap, and recall that de Lima already achieved legal victory in her first drug case with that same RTC dismissing her charge, but then de Lima is still facing 2 other drug cases. Moving on to some tech news, Apple is in talks to buy sensor technology for its driverless vehicle project. Let's check out this report from Bloomberg quickly. Those are the top stories of the hour. Join Sean Yao later at 2 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. We are One News.